Good morning. Thank you very much for coming, to this masterclass. Since I'm here in Asia, it's for me. I would like to put emphasis on something very specific. I mean, the language of cinema. You know, the slogan. Can we say it? Of the festival is telling all our stories. You know. And yes, of course, our stories are, interesting, like other stories in the world. But for me, it's not the most important thing. Since we are making movies, it's important to focus on the language of cinema, and this is something that is missing a lot in 90% of movies that we can see in the world. It's just illustrations of a good story and a theme. So this is not interesting at all. So I would like to start with a story, very simple. It's about Pablo Picasso. You know that he has, this very different period in his creativity. So for a new exhibition, he was standing next to a lady who said to him, "Pablo, come on, this time I really don't understand what you are doing." And then he said, "My dear, painting is a language. I have to talk very well this language, and you have to learn how to read this language." So everything is related to this idea of expression. It's a language. Cinema is a language. So you have to learn, we have to learn how to speak this language when we are making movies. Because the story, it's, in my country, in Vietnam, when you meet with people, they tell, very nice, good and amazing stories about their life, about their families, etc. We are not lack of stories, and themes, social, politics, a lot of things, intimate, intimacy of a couple, but where we have something that can really touch profoundly the audience is the form, is, the style, what we call style. It's the form, it's the language by itself. So it's important to for a filmmaker and also for the audience, if you learn how to read this language, then the pleasure that you will receive from a movie will be much more richer. It will be more intense and more if the movie has the language, because everything can be a movie. Really, everything can be a movie. You shoot, and then you go to the editing room and you make it work, and then you screen it, and it's a movie, And the worst movie can have 200 or 5 big fan of this movie, but it's just crap. It's no language, nothing. It's just stupid. But you can still have people that find it amazing, So because nobody knows about language of cinema, nobody learned the language of cinema. We should, teach it, in the school for little kids, showing something and saying that, it's like this because, this scene is great because, and it's possible. It's something that is really clear, when a movie has a great language, very clear, when you watch it, it's like you are walking inside of the head of the director. Everything is so clear, everything is connected, everything has, a very strong link, and, the structure is there, and it's very, very important. Language of cinema is something that happens when you go from one shot to another. This is the specific material of this art. This is what you have to work on. You know, you cannot go just from one shot to another only because you have a story to tell, and you are going to do it. You know, even if it's brilliant, it's only storytelling. But if you are going from one shot to another and it has nothing to do with storytelling, then it has something else. And this is something that you can only have in movies. And when you can give this feeling, this meaning, this emotion to the audience only by the means of cinema, then you are working on the specific material of this art. You see, literature cannot give you this, theater cannot give you this, opera cannot give you this, only cinema. So we really have to work on this, to focus on this as a filmmaker. You know, we make a lot of mistakes by, you know, just going how to illustrate, you know, with a great skill, you know, a story. Then you will never touch profoundly the audience, because what come to the audience need to be not said, need to be hidden by the structure, or need to be revealed by the structure, you know. And then you are working on the specific material of this art. Different form of art, when when it has a story, there is always three different levels. From the lowest level, we have the story, what's going on, okay? And then we have the theme, what is it about, okay? And the theme is the frame for the imagination to stop, to have a certain length, you know, because we have, you know, 2001 nights, no? So you can tell story forever. No? What stopped you is the theme. The theme. The theme said you need to be, you know, you cannot be, you know, you cannot tell it for forever, you know. Then the theme. And then you have this third level that is really the most important thing and the most difficult thing. It's where you have to work on the specific material of this art. And when it's well done, the whole movie tell a story, let you understand very well about the theme, and the movie say something about life, about poetry, and it's on this level that you can create this thing. You know? The beauty in cinema, it's only beautiful when it's right. It's right because it's right with the story, it's right about the theme, it's right about, you know, the characters, what's happened in their mind. If everything is right, then you have the beauty, you know. If everything is right, then you have poetry. In my opinion, never try to work on poetry in a movie. You have to work, you know, normally. And if you are doing well, you are precise, then poetry will come. One thing that is, I don't know, it's very accurate, but it reminds me of this, something François Truffaut said. It's quite beautiful. He said, if I have the choice between living a love story and making a movie about the same love story, I would choose to make a movie. Because for us artists, the expression of life is more real than the experience. The experience is nothing, it's something that will pass, you know, but the expression will stay. and we choose to go, with expression, making a movie.